My name is Anders. I'm in third year on the undergraduate course at London Contemporary Dance School.
Hello, I'm Theia and I'm in the first year at LCDS. So I had done ballet, a bit of hip hop, jazz, a little bit of tap, and contemporary.
I went to an arts high school, so we did a bit of ballet, jazz and modern and contemporary.
So far, first term was Cunningham and ballet, second term was ballet and release, floor work kind of stuff, and now we are doing Cunningham again and ballet.
Yeah, it's flying low and gaga that are the two big new techniques that are in the school. Most popular and most contemporary, I guess. And also a great reason to come here because we have great teachers delivering classes, really engaged in what they do. I think it's also, you discover that there's more than technique as well, which I think becomes really important, that you learn that there's a bigger image than just being a dancer who do positions and shapes.
It's more about who you are rather than what you're doing a lot of the time.
Yeah, definitely. When I came, and I think it might be a bit different to what they do now, we did a 5-week kind of crash course in a bit of everything. So we did kind of like a dip into everything that we do during these 3 years I've been here, to kind of see this is what you'll embark on, this journey. But they do kind of strip everything back to the basics. So, because in the classes we have people who've done ballet from they started walking basically, and people who've hardly even done ballet before they come to the school.
They definitely didn't do that with us. We were straight into Cunningham with Jeannie, where she basically just stripped it all back to the basic mechanics of your body and working with your lines and alignment and stuff. So we didn't have a sample of everything at the beginning. It was a term of just working out what your body is and being safe with your body as well. And respecting your joints and making sure you warm up and not pushing yourself beyond what you can do safely. So that was really great, and that's definitely carried on through, and it's just a constant reminder throughout the other techniques as well.
I think they encourage safe practice as well.
Yeah.
Because there's something, if you have a lot of experience, you have these perceptions about what you think is right to your body, but then maybe a new fresh outside eye, which there's a lot of when you come to a new school, can see that actually if you keep on doing this over time, that might injure you or inhibit your abilities.
Yeah.
So in a sense it's like de-learning.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think what I found the most inspiring with the technique classes is how different they are, in terms of how different the teachers are and how they're all really engaged, but in such different aspects of what we call dance, contemporary dance, or ballet, for that sake.
The teachers definitely are so amazing, as people as well as dancers, I think. They're just, I find when you click with a teacher, or also they work in really different ways. So we've had Chisato in first term, and she's all about imagery and really sensory and feeling it. And then second term, it's still ballet, but we had Ballet, who was so upbeat and energized and just constantly going. And to have those two different approaches to the same thing. It's really amazing to you can just pick out what you like and
Yeah, it's such a strength of the school, I think, that they're able to have such a vast faculty within a really small school, so you get a really broad experience. Even in ballet, which you kind of have this expectation of it being kind of set and it's quite conventional in a way, but just having such different teachers really it widens your horizons, I think. I think with the way they've structured the training is that you kind of get to visit a lot of different techniques, but you also get to revisit it. So In my first term I did Cunningham as well, like Theia did, and I've been meeting it in second and third year as well, and it's nice to kind of come in from a new place with a new perspective and realise that there's a lot more than what you realised the first time.
Even with first year there's that, because you start with Jeannie's Cunningham and then you go on to Kate's Cunningham, which is completely different. Like they've got the same sort of form, but I feel like the emphasis changes.
You can kind of see how her work, which is based on more of Richard Dawson's technique, how it has the same grounding as the Cunningham principles, but they value more other light-hearted things and have different dynamics.
Exactly. I think that links in with the teachers as well, like bringing in their experiences into what their technique is now. So it's like Chisato technique rather than ballet. I don't know, within the structures of ballet.
Yeah, it is a way. Yeah, you learn that a teacher's class will be in a specific way according to their experience and what they've done and the places they've been. And having such different teachers from loads of different places and backgrounds.
Bringing that into a studio.
Makes it really rich. So you were talking about Chisato earlier, and Chisato teaches both ballet and gaga technique. So she trained at a ballet school, so in theory her classes would be quite conventional, but then after she worked with the Batsheva company, she got the experience of the gaga technique.
I think, because she always says, imagine you're going under the water and then you're appearing out of the water in like a chasse or something, which is just like...
Did that this morning.
Did you?
Yeah.
I love it. It's encouraged that you warm up before class, so you're not going in straight into like the first plie is the first plie you've done for the day. But definitely with Cunningham, there's there's centre work where you're very much like training your body, like going through different parts of your body and working on that. Like you'll have a foot exercise, you'll have like a twist, you'll have a back.
You're kind of going through the whole body to warm it up.
Yeah.
I think generally all dance classes go through a warm-up because you need to warm up to be ready to do the big things. You can't just go right into a big jump. They encourage healthy, safe practice, and warming up is such a big part of it. I think some of the contemporary techniques maybe do it in a different way. So whereas Cunningham you have this set of principles and more or less set exercises that you go through before you can kind of do the actual dancing bit. Whereas Flying Low has a very relaxed way of going into it. So the warm-up might be just a massage going into running, or it might just be that you put on a really nice song and then you just dance together, and then all of a sudden we'll start learning an exercise, and then it's kind of begun without you realising.
It's funny how they trick you into suddenly doing bigger things as well.
Yeah.
I always find that with improvisation classes, where you're like, I really don't fancy moving right now, and then suddenly you're like, actually. So for the first 2 terms, we had observed classes where each class would watch the other, which was so nice to like check in with the others. And then just like in yesterday and tomorrow, we've got our first assess classes where we have like numbers on and there's people with boards ticking, or no, I'm joking. I don't know what they're actually looking at. They're looking at like something to do with us. But.
Obviously it's a degree, so they have set criteria so that they have to mark how well you perform. But I think essentially first year is kind of an ease into the experience of being assessed, because it is just a normal dance class, but you have teachers from the school and an external eye watching and giving observations really and feedback for you to improve. So they assess both contemporary and ballet classes. They do it 2 ways. So one way is the continuous assessment, which is given by the technique teacher, and that's how you how you bring yourself to the class, how you develop throughout the term, and how committed you are to your own training. And the other mark is for the assessment, which is just on the day, how well did you do in what you were asked to perform. Yeah, it encourages you to be an individual, to show what qualities you have, how you can use dynamics and how you see the space, not necessarily how your foot looks or how your body happens to be, because it's not really relevant to your ability to dance.
I don't feel like I've experienced enough techniques yet to say this is my pinpoint favourite technique, because I'm really looking forward to doing more flying low kind of stuff and like gaga as well.
Even though a ballet class will change, you have that kind of expectation of what it will be like, so it becomes kind of like a safe haven. Like, you know, you're going to come in the morning, going to do some work on the bar, and then you're going to dance, and then that's it. But saying that, I also really like flying low and doing something completely different.
Yeah.
And I think that's what drew me to coming to the school in general, because you get all these different experiences and you don't have to choose one technique to study for 3 years. You can commit to doing 3 years at LCS, and then this is what you'll experience, and it's a lot. It's really varied and it's really rich. You don't only learn to do what you're told in the ballet class at 8:45 in the morning. You learn to bring yourself into the class, and I think it's such a value to know, to get that discipline and rigor, to know that you can do that. And it's not necessarily about doing a really good class, but it's being able to come and just do it and realize that that's perfectly valid and you don't have to be this idea of perfect. Or
I think there's something really important with like that repetition of actually getting to know your body as well, and like I really notice I feel different when I dance now. Like with improvisation, I'm like I couldn't before move my body in such a way. Also, we've just started doing choreology with Ava, and that's just added a whole new layer on top of class and like dance, moving, which is really exciting. Choreology is basically the study of movement in its like stripped back form, looking at like the body, actions and dynamics, etc. And it's strange sometimes talking to people who don't dance.
Yeah, you realise that normal people, as we call them, they even hug differently. It's a bit like you're touching a person.
I'm like, bring it in. So yeah, you've got to be careful with that. Sometimes you come across a bit creepy.
Yeah. You should come to LCDS and learn how to hug.
Yeah,
be
that's
around
basically
people.
what you'd get a degree in, hugging. I try and find my own pathways through the techniques.
It's kind of like they give you the movement, which is kind of square one. This is where you start. You learn a phrase, but then what you teach in terms of becoming a dance artist or a dancer or a person is that how you bring yourself to that phrase and how you can manipulate the timings and the dynamics.
Yeah.
And they really encourage you to not just do what the teacher does, but also just how it feels naturally for you to do it, or even how it feels really unnatural for you to do it, to discover new things.
Yeah.